and welcome to Live in the Hive. I'm Michelle Eagleton and you're watching the only online magazine show dedicated to theatre across Greater Manchester. If you love theatre, you're in the right place. Stick with us. We are here for the next 30 minutes with some theatre news and some great interviews. You might be watching us on the I Love Manchester Facebook page, that iconic brand dedicated to community and culture in our fair city. Hello if you are, and a big hello if you're watching on our very own Live in the Hive Facebook page. We are here every Sunday night at 8 o'clock in my garden bar, the Hive. Do you like it? Yeah, there's no last orders in the Hive, and we have got some great guests. Who have we got this week though? We have got the wonderful actress called Shareesa Valentine. She's going to be telling me about starring in a one-woman play which is coming to Shakespeare North Playhouse very soon. It sounds really exciting. We've also got a man who you don't often get to see in the flesh. He's called Matt Eames, and he's responsible for some of the brilliant commissions that the Lowry brings to the stage. He's going to be giving me all the scope on that one and the bit of nuggets of information of some brand new productions that are winging their way to the wonderful arts venue that we have in Salford. Do you know what? If that wasn't enough, every week we do bring you Greater Manchester theatre news. We've got some great information to reveal to you later on, and a little bit of a sneak peek of a show that is coming to the Royal Exchange. Oh, it's all very exciting here in the Hive 10 nights. I hope you're excited too. I hope you've got something nice to have a drink of as we take you through the next 30 minutes. Shall we start the show though? Well, yes, let's kick off with someone who I got the chance to catch up with earlier this week. She is a brilliant actress. She's called Shareesa, and as I said earlier, she is preparing for a one-woman play which is coming to Shakespeare North Playhouse in Prescott. And of course, I always like to get a little bit of a lowdown about what we can expect. And here's what she had to say. Well, first off, I am hearing a northern accent, Shareesa. Are you from round here?
I am. I'm a local woman. I am. Yes! From East Manchester. That's where I'm from.
Oh, I love a bit of East Manchester. Brilliant. I know the show is taking you a little bit further afield, but not too far for us to go if we're in Manchester. You're at Shakespeare North Playhouse in Prescott, right? And I've got to say, it's absolutely gorgeous, isn't it, that theatre?
It's stunning. I've had the luxury of working here before last October. And yeah, it's just such a lovely atmosphere. I mean, it looks fantastic. And then to work here, it's just, yeah, it's a very good energy as soon as you walk in. So yeah.
And what I really like is not only does it look absolutely fabulous, and people should just go and visit just to see it. Mm-hmm. I mean, the production choices that it's made since it's opened have been pretty phenomenal and really nice and fresh. And that's what really leads me to the production that you're starring in, this one-woman play, because I think it's a story that needs to be told right now.
Yeah, 100% it is. I feel like there's a bit of a disconnect, I think, for a lot of people. And the way that Michelle's wrote it and the way that Nathan's directing it feels accessible. Because I was concerned when the script came through. I thought, the subject matter, it could be a bit louder. And it's not. It's really not. And actually, by the end, not to give it away, but we hope that it's a bit more of a lighter feeling and people don't walk out and go, oh, right, that's a bit heavy. Hopefully they go away with, things to think about. But yeah, overall, it definitely needs to be talked about. And I think Michelle has wrote it in a fantastic way. It's accessible.
So what are we going to see? Are you playing one character? Are you playing a number of characters as this goes on? What's the setup?
So we meet Naomi when she's a dramaturg, so she's not an actor. Unfortunately, the actors on the play itself are not available. They're not there for whatever reason that is. So Naomi is thrust onto the stage. So you find her sort of scrambling through certain things. But because she's the dramaturg, you know, she has her stats and things like that. But I promise you, she does make it fun. She really does. So yeah, we meet her and she's like.
I would say it's daunting being on the stage on your own, but this isn't your first foray into one-woman productions, is it? You've come back for more.
I don't know why. I don't know why people keep trusting me to be on a stage. I'm like,
oh, crazy lady.
I know, but the good thing about it, because even though it is a one-woman show, I don't feel like I'm on my own. It feels like the last time, and even now, I mean, the amount of amazing people that's working on this project is great. But I feel supported just as I would if there was other cast members physically on the stage. So that's really nice, and that's created, like we're in the rehearsals now, that's all being created now. So I don't feel like I'm on my own. But maybe ask me that on opening night.
When it's squeaky bum time and you're a bit like, oh my, what am I doing?
A lot of that.
Have you got any techniques then? Because it always, you know, it always intrigues me when you're doing a one-woman production or one-man production or whatever. Yeah, about if you do dry. So is it a case of, is it movements or props that lead you to next bits? How does that work?
So on the last one, which was Forgotten Voices, written by David Moorhead, that was very much the case. So if I did a certain movement, or I, you know, walk around a bench or pick something up, that would then help me with my thought process. This one is a little bit different, because all she's got is a bottle of water and potentially talks of maybe an iPad. So,
whoa.
Yeah, so that's literally it. So that's going to be interesting for me. It's definitely a different skill because this is dark humour. And when we're going through it, there is quite a lot of people. We're not playing the laughs, absolutely not, because obviously the subject matter isn't funny. But like I said, Michelle has written this script, she wrote the script in a way that there is humour in it, and it's, you know, it's sort of, we're lifting it off the page currently, and it's feeling really good. It really is feeling good. So that will be something in the process that we sort of figure out, and because there is some clear differences in the thought process. It's like, well, how are we going to get from that to this without movement? Because effectively it's just me on stage with 4 people cycling.
Well, I know. Let's get to the cycling, because honestly, I think it's incredible the way that theatre now is just moving forward. You know, like when you go and see scenery and you've got full on kind of screens as backdrops, no kind of, you know, painted material anymore. This takes it to another level in the fact that it's sustainable, isn't it? You've got 4 people on bicycles that are really getting the energy going in, and the workings of, is it the lights and everything?
Lights and sound, yeah. Wow. Yeah. And there's other talks about if we have comms and things, if they're going to have to generate that as well. So the good thing about this process is that because it's completely stripped back, and because it's a play that's touring, and obviously the creative don't tour with the play, it's kind of a new process for everyone. So we're all in the room and it's like, oh yeah, we could do this. And then it goes, yeah, but how are we going to do that? So it's really interesting to see everybody being like, how, and we're trying to figure things out as we go along. And it's a really good process though, because we know that what we do here is going to have a completely different feel to what they did at the Barbican. We're really aware that it's going to feel completely different. And that's something that's really nice that Headlong have done, because they're the co-producers. So it's pretty much this is the template, and you can basically do what you want with it as long as it's within, you know, the eco theme, and yeah. So we just,
that's great for an actor and a creative team to be able to have that kind of freedom.
Yeah, it really
is. Really good.
Are
you going to get distracted by the people on the bikes though? Whereabouts are they? Are they in your eye line? Because I am not very good at concentration. I'd be like, hey, what they're doing, they fall off the bike.
Well, we did say it's going to be a bit odd if there isn't any interaction. So there's not, you know, none of the lines are actually sort of, it's all outwards. But I'm trying to find a way where it doesn't feel weird on stage, because they're there. So to make it feel real, I want to acknowledge that they're there, and they are also a part of it, because, well, they're generating the music, the sound, and the lighting. So yeah, we're gonna try and bring them along.
And it fits really well with kind of like the subject matter. Hey, and if it's good enough for Coldplay and they can do it on their concert,
there we go.
Good enough for us, isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah, I think they was the first musicians, is that right? And now we're the first sort of creative theatre world to do it, which again, that in itself, the fact that it's never been done before in the UK and we're the first, just trying this out. I mean, it's a bold experiment. That's exactly what it is. And it feels like that, but there's a certain sort of youthful excitement, energy that comes along with it. So yeah, I'm really enjoying this whole process.
And talking of energy, do you feel more energy when you're playing to the northern crowds? Does it feel like kind of coming home? Because obviously, you play all over the place, but does it feel a little bit more special?
It really does. Yeah, I was doing a tour with Band of Gold. That was a 5-month tour. When we came to the Lowry, so that was the northern closest to me, because obviously we had Leeds as well. That's where we started. But when we was at the Lowry, oh my gosh, that was a special moment, because it was the first time that I played on the Lowry, and it was home. That was home. But this feels like home as well, because it is the northern region. So this one's for us. We're going to put our northern stamp on it. And that's good, because you're not confined as well. Like I say, Headlong have given us sort of the blueprint, and we can do whatever we want. So I'm proper northern it up.
This is good. This sounds like my kind of production. I think it is going to be great. I'm going to be racing there. I might not go on bike from Manchester to Preston. The spirit will be there, Shareesa.
As long as that's there, we'll take it. The good spirit.
Oh, fantastic. Well, good luck with the rest of it all, and we'll see you very soon.
Thank you. I hope you enjoy the show.
Oh, a great northern actress, a brilliant venue, and a fantastic play. What more could you ask for? Do try and get to Shakespeare North Playhouse, not next week, the week after. I think that is going to be a brilliant production. Talking about brilliant productions and what is coming up on at the theatre, well, it's time for this. Yes, every week we bring you the latest Greater Manchester theatre news, and this week we have heard the announcement of a brand new musical coming to Hope Mill Theatre. It's called Lizzie. But what is it about? Well, apparently it's about rage, sex, betrayal, and bloody murder. It sounds brilliant. Now, it's exploring the life of Lizzie Borden, who was accused of murdering her father and stepmother with an axe in the late summer of 1892. Now, this is a massive true crime story and infamous story with the added extra of an incredible punk rock score. Now, the retelling of this story is, of course, mixed up in a way that only Hope Mill can do it. It's got an incredibly talented all-female cast and an on-stage all-female rock band. It sounds brilliant, so exciting, and this is going to be the premiere here in Manchester this September, just before it goes on tour. So try and catch it if you can. I know tickets are already on sale, and this is on for the whole month of September. Brilliant. If you don't want to wait till September, though, to go to the theatre, maybe you can catch this at the end of May. I don't know if I'm brave enough, if I'm honest. Do you believe in ghosts? Now, this is only on for one night at the Lowry, and it's talking about supernatural stories, because every theatre has ghosts and sightings, and terrified actors have really seen these ghosts and mysterious apparitions that walk the stage at night, the corridors, the stairwells. Do you believe in ghosts? Are you feeling brave? Well, maybe head down to the Lowry, because this production is going to be packed with stories of things that go bump in the night or the day, or just things that don't add up. As I say, though, you'll have to be quick. It's only on for one night. If you go and see it, do let us know. But as I say, I am a little bit scared myself, so I'm definitely going to leave this one up to you guys. And I promise you a sneak peek of something that is coming to the Royal Exchange. Well, let's take a look at this and see if it whets your appetite.
You'll never guess what happened today. The police came looking for a looting riot, only to find a whole lot of housewives carrying breadsticks. Off we ran, free as you like. Armloads of shopping, feeling the wind in our vaginas.
Oh, I'm definitely in there. That looks a very funny production, and I do love the Royal Exchange. Another theatre that I absolutely adore, though, is the Lowry in Salford, a brilliant arts venue that we are so lucky to have here in the Northwest. And this week, I got the chance to catch up with someone who you don't often see. He kind of hides behind the scenes, but here's the guy who is responsible for some of the shows that come to the Lowry, all the new and exciting productions. He commissions them. He is the head of theatres, and he's called Matt Eames. So shall we find out about what his job entails and what have we got to look forward to?
Yeah, it's a terrible job. I just spend all my time watching shows, chatting to the brilliant performers and producers and directors. I mean, someone's got to do it, I guess.
Absolutely. But I tell you what, it's for a very good reason, because we know the Lowry puts on some amazing productions. We see some absolute corkers come to the Lowry. But what most people don't realise is the Lowry itself isn't a producing house, is it? It's a house that commissions and co-commissions pieces of work. And that's really where your role comes in, right?
That's right, yeah. So we're not... we don't make things here. We don't have a props department or a casting team or a set workshop. The shows that we host and present in our building are kind of come through our relationships, and I suppose it's a little bit like like a TV scheduler. You're sort of curating this really enticing, exciting range of performances and productions that kind of we think is what the Lowry's for. So we're an arts centre, we're not just a theatre, but also it's for the people of Salford, for the people of Northwest, for the people of the North. And yes, commissioning, which is part of my role, is our way of making sure that we get some of those, there's competition around. So we have to make sure that the best, the most exciting projects are coming first to the Lowry, or they're being seen outside what otherwise might not be seen outside London. So commissioning is kind of a bit of a fancy, slightly strange word, and what it means is that we could be seed funding a project. We could be putting some cash in early on to make sure something starts off, and often some of those projects wouldn't happen without that little bit of money at the beginning to just explore what a show is going to be and whether actually there is a show in that idea at all.
Well, I'm going to come to that in a bit and talk about that further. But there seems to be then a lot of pressure on your shoulders, really, to get it right.
Well, we want all of our commission projects to be huge successes, of course, and some of them are, you sort of think, like with Rambert and Peaky Blinders, you know that there's an audience for Peaky Blinders out there, so the deck is in your favour, I suppose. Whereas other projects that we get involved with are more about it might be stretching, it might be really innovative, it might be something really new and exciting that has never been tried before, and there is a bit of risk in that, and sometimes they don't work, but at least we've got involved for the right reasons, and when they come off, we can be really excited about it.
You are being very reserved. You've got a great eye for some brilliant pieces of work that have already been at the Lowry. I mean, Peaky Blinders was brilliant with Rambert. You just had Cake, the Marie Antoinette playlist, which absolutely brilliant. I think that is going to do great guns completely, and like the Lowry had it. I'm like, wow, this is amazing. And not only that, if we take it back to Operation Mincemeat, back when that was in the studio at the Lowry, and look where that is now. It's just started in the West End at the end of March, and now it's got a cast recording coming out in May. I mean, started here, right?
It did start. You know, it was just part of a 10-15 minute thrown together some ideas from a company and some people we knew very well, but it was the first time they'd ever tried anything that might be called musical theatre, and they threw that together, and yeah, look at what it's become. We've followed it all the way throughout, you know, tryout productions at the new Diorama, through to Southwark Playhouse, through to Riverside, and now, you know, to be at the premiere in a few weeks' time in the West End will be such a momentous night, and it's brilliant. You know, if you look at the reviews and the way people respond to it, yeah, it's going to be a really exciting night.
I hope you get a name check when they pick up one of their Olivier Awards, because it needs to be done. Anyway, look, tell me about the nuggets that we have got to come in terms of those commissioning pieces that you've done, because there's some great things.
Mama, a production, are a company from a company called Far From The Norm, led by the choreographer Bottis Saver, who has been at the Lowry before, and hip hop, street dance specialists, incredibly exciting performers. And this is about how we look at race and racism today, and looking at colonial secrets and how that affects our communities. What happens when these sort of long historic events are explored differently through different eyes, as things are looked at today. So it's quite, you know, a meaty subject, but yeah, seen through the prism of hip hop and street dance.
How important is it to give those types of things a platform and show diversity within theatre, do you think now, Matt?
Well, our job is to represent everyone in our community, and we're not doing it well enough if those stories aren't celebrated on our stages, and those voices aren't heard on our stages. So there is no choice, you know, and we're very passionate about it, and yeah, we make sure that our commissions are as representative as they can be. We can do better. We will do better, but yeah, really important that there's a full representation across the board.
I totally agree with you, and that sounds an incredible production. Message in a Bottle. When can we see that? When's that on? That's
a nice summer show. It's a dance theatre show from Kate Prince, who is, among many other things, is the choreographer of Everybody's Talking About Jamie, and has done lots of different styles of theatre, but you know, dance theatre is really her thing. And this uses the music of Sting from the Police to
and obviously Sting has a relationship with the Lowry, the last ship. Remember when Sting came?
Yes, I remember interviewing Sting on stage, in fact, ahead of the last ship. And yeah, so it's great to have his music again in the building. And this was something that was first explored again on the Lowry stages as part of a dance project called The Movement. So it's 6-7 years in the making, really, this project. And
wow,
it's great to have this. We co-commissioned it 4 or 5 years ago, and we're only getting to the point now, mostly because of COVID, that we can get it back on our stage where it belongs. And yeah, so that's the 27th to the 29th of July. It's based on an island, and there's a big event that changes everything. So there is environmental undertones there, definitely, but yeah, all with great music, live music, and phenomenal dance.
That sounds really, really exciting. Definitely right up my street, that one. Do they feel like your babies? Do you know what I mean? It's almost like you've kind of spent a lot of time with them and seeing the progression, you know, almost like that pregnancy. And then when it comes to the night and that they're actually here, is that proud moment for you where you're like, and seeing people have that reaction that, you know, you possibly had when you first heard about it or got that gem of the idea of, you know, working with them?
Yeah, I suppose it's the closest we get, you know, as people who aren't physically making it. I'm not directing the show myself. You know, I'm not in it. So yeah, we're with shows that we commission, and there's a group of us in our team that are involved in selecting those productions and working with those performers. Yeah, they're exciting moments and nervous moments to kind of sit at the back of the theatre and think, right, what are people thinking? How's it going? And what stage are we at? You know, are we at the beginning of its kind of journey to its best production, or are we at the end of it and we get to sit back, like I suppose like Peaky Blinders, and think, yes, that. And I think that was one of those wow moments for people in the audience to think, wow, this is something amazing that
Absolutely.
perhaps,
Did you don a flat cap on the night, Matt, in Peaky Blinders style?
well, it would have been rude not to. Yeah.
Oh, some wonderful words there from Matt Eames, and some great shows to look forward to, which are coming to the Lowry. Thank you, Matt, for being my guest tonight, and also Shareesa. Thank you to you for watching as well. And if you liked what you saw, then please join us next week. We're here every Sunday night at 8, streaming on I Love Manchester's Facebook page and our very own Live in the Hive Facebook page. If you want to find out what's going on during the week, though, maybe what to see, where to go, do visit I Love Manchester's website. They've got it all on there, and give us a follow. We're on social. We would love it if you did. We're on Twitter and Instagram at Live in the Hive 21. But until next week, have a great bank holiday, and we'll see you Sunday.